DJ Vic Vapor with you again, continuing on with our Bitwig Studio Samplers course. And we're going to take a look in this tutorial into multi-sampling. All right, so let's take a look here. I'm going to add a sampler. So we'll grab one of these guys here. And now, unlike before, I'd been opening over here and grabbing whatever sample I wanted. Now, to create a multi-sample, you see right here, it says create new multi-sample. Click on that guy, and we've got this screen right here. But don't let it intimidate you. It's just a row of keys that we can now select and drop individual samples on to allow us to trigger those samples individually, depending on what key or key zone we want to strike. So what I'm going to do now is go back here. We'll grab a drum sound, and you'll notice that once I grab that drum sound and drag it over, I can drop it on any key within this area I want. Or I can go over here and drop samples here in this big area. But I haven't let go of my mouse yet, and I just want to make notice that you can see it's going to drop it across all velocities and all key ranges when I let go and drop it over here, as opposed to here where we can select a key. Now I can select more than one key. If I go up with my mouse, it gets wider. I can select a key area or key range. And if I come down with my mouse, it goes down to a single key. So wider and smaller, or drop over here for the full range. Right now I'm going to go ahead and drop it over here. So now we've got the full range of keys available. No matter where I select, it's going to play. I'm going to take key tracking off. And you can see now the key I'm selecting is right here, and everything is playing. All right, so let's say I don't want every key anywhere I press to trigger the full sample. And again, we are in repitch mode, so I am going to narrow it down by simply grabbing the end here and bringing it down to the key I want. And we'll go get the other side here and narrow it over. Now, that one note that I'm selecting is going to be where the sample is triggered from. If I trigger something else, it's not going to get played. So let's say I just want to narrow it down to just being that kick as well. I'll put it here. And it's a double kick, so we'll just go back to one. And now we've got a kick here. So this is kind of an old school way of doing things. You know, back in the days, you can chop up different loops and create different sounds of different notes on your keyboard to trigger, and then you can play the rhythm however you wanted. I'm going to duplicate this guy, so I'm going to right click, select duplicate. Now we've got two of the same loop, the same sample right on top of each other. I can simply come over here, grab, click, and I can drag it over now to another key. And then now I can move the second one to another sound that I want. Let's say, I think that looks like a hi-hat. Yeah. So now I've got a kick and a hi-hat loaded, and we can play those. And that's just a quick, easy introduction to bringing samples in, creating multi-samples. Let's dive a little bit deeper and see what else we can do within the multi-sample. Oh, actually, before I go any further, there is one thing I want to point out. I don't want every sample to be played. I want it monophonic. So I'm going to select the sampler here on the outside, bring up the inspector, and I'm going to select monophonic. That way, the samples are being played one at a time, as opposed to, well, you guys get the idea. So let's move on to the next tutorial here, and we'll take a look at additional features within multi-sampling.